The idea of American greatness, of our country as the leader of the free and unfree world, has vanished. I've decided to do something about it. I couldn't stand to see what was happening to our great country. This mess calls for leadership in the worst way. It needs someone with common sense and business acumen, someone who can truly lead America back to what has made us great in the past. We need someone with a proven track record in business who understands greatness, someone who can rally us to the standard of excellence we once epitomized. I started with the issue of illegal immigration and proposed building a major wall that would be very high and completely impervious to the flood of immigrants who we don't want or need here illegally. Suddenly, Americans started to wake up to what was going on with regard to illegal immigration. Despite the large number of candidates who were running for the Republican nomination, what I was saying started to really hit home with people. I started drawing very large crowds so that we had to move our rallies into football stadiums and convention centers. The first national debate drew 24 million viewers, which set a record for cable television. All of a sudden, people who had never cared about the election or never voted before were rushing to our rallies. The rallies became massive. The crowds were unbelievable. The enthusiasm was based on pure love and love of what we were doing. The media, the politicians, and the so-called leaders of our country reacted in horror. But I persevered and went directly to the people because I don't need anyone's financial support, nor do I need anyone's approval as to what to say. I just had to do the right thing. I had to do it. I had no choice. I see what's happening to our country. It's going to hell. I had to do it. I've committed to a truly more powerful military, one prepared and equipped to stand up to any and all of our foes. When we draw a line in the sand, it needs to mean something to all, especially our enemies. I've released a tax plan that gives the middle class and those with lower incomes a chance to keep more of what they earn, while restructuring how the richest Americans will be paying taxes. I've introduced a whole new approach to job creation by encouraging companies to bring more of their jobs in manufacturing back to the United States, home where it belongs, along with the trillions of dollars currently being held in foreign banks overseas. What we need is leadership that can deal with our mess and begin to apply practical solutions to our problems. There's so much untapped greatness in our country. Together, let's make America great again.
I know people have talked to you about whether or not you want to run. Would you ever?
I just probably wouldn't do it, Oprah. I probably wouldn't, but I do get tired of seeing what's happening with this country. And if it got so bad, I would never want to rule it out totally.
U.S. national debt currently stands at $18.3 trillion.
Stopping the flood of fighters joining ISIS is much more...
Bridgeport very well, I'll tell you. A little bit different, but you know, you're losing your jobs, that's the problem, right? The manufacturing is leaving, we're going to take care of it, hang in there, folks, we're going to stop it. It's moving to foreign countries, we're going to stop it, they're ripping us off like nobody has ever ripped off a country. Don't worry about it, hang in, folks. I'm looking at these numbers, you know. Before I leave, and honestly, they're all pretty similar. Although Bridgeport, I think maybe you're a little bit worse. Maybe it changes. Bridgeport region of Connecticut. I always say give me the stats on Bridgeport or wherever I'm going. And you know, last week we had a tremendous victory in New York. Tremendous. You know, they were all saying, oh, it will be impossible for him to get over 50. Don't forget, 50% when you have 3 people running, that's hard. And these characters in the media, the world's most dishonest people, they are the worst. New Hampshire, I won South Carolina, I won all these things, and you have these pundits who are not smart people, by the way, not smart people. And they'll say, and I had like 17 people total. So at the beginning we'd have like 16 and 14 and 12, and I'd win. And they'd say, Donald Trump did not get 50%. I said, how do you get 50% when you have all these people, right? And even now we have 3. I call it 2, but I really call it a half, because I think we have a half. We have a half a person now. Lion Ted Cruz has absolutely no way to go. Lion Ted Cruz can't win. He's got no path. It's over, because statistically he can't win anymore. New York, you know what's nice? When a place like New York that knows me better than at your home, right? It's like if I lived in Bridgeport and somebody did a nasty story. The people that know me best are the New York people. They voted record 62%, almost 62%. And you know, they all said, well, he has to get 50%. They knew you couldn't get because you have 3 people running. But what was funny, I had one where there were, I think, 14 people, and I did very well. I won one of the states, and I won. And then I hear the pundits say, he didn't get over 50. I mean, I have senators and governors and people like Ben Carson, who's phenomenal, by the way, Dr. Ben Carson, who endorsed me. But, you know, really smart guy and really smart people, and you have 15, 16, 17, and then you win. And they say, he didn't get 50%. And people don't think, they say, oh, that's too bad, too bad. I mean, who can get 50? So now, in New York, they didn't think I was going to get 50%. We got almost 62%. And we won almost all of the delegates. 95 delegates, we won almost every delegate. So, I mean, it was great. So, what's happening is that knocked out Cruz. He has no pathway to victory, other than being a short seller. He has no pathway to victory. And Kasich has he's 1 for 38. I mean, he's running. I'm just running. Why are you running? I don't know. I'm just running. So, you know, it's interesting because a lot of people did better than Kasich. And, you know, they said, well, it's not fair. You can't. I mean, Marco Rubio did better. And Chris Christie did better. And a lot of Chris Christie, great. He endorsed me, as you know. Great. But Chris did better. And others did better. But, you know, Kasich is going to keep going. He's going to keep running. So keep running, baby. Thank you. I appreciate it. I love these people. My God. I know this. I wanted to do a big job up here a long time ago. And in their great wisdom, they said, no, that would have been a good job. We would have given you a lot of jobs, but they're real geniuses. Real geniuses. They said no. They said no. And you know what? It's sitting there dying right now like it was 20 years ago. So, but you know what's nice? You know what's nice? You know what's nice? They saved me a lot of time. But I would have done a great job. Interesting, right? What is more fun than a Trump rally? It's not even 1 o'clock. You people could be out having fun, watching a baseball game, playing golf, playing tennis, and you're here with Trump. Isn't this better? The first stuff order was the same thing. The biggest crowd that they've school, and this is the same thing. Biggest crowd there. Many people outside. Should we let them in? Do you want to give up your seats? Nobody's going to give up their seat. But we set a record here. We set record. You know why? Because people want change, not Obama change. People want real, smart change. They're tired of being ripped off. They're tired of seeing jobs go overseas into other countries and to Mexico. They're tired of seeing the stupidity that we run our country with. It's gross, it's stupid, and we're not going to let it happen anymore. We're not going to let it happen anymore. It's 7 o'clock in the morning and you're lining up. 7 in the morning and you're lining up at Bridgeport and say, what's going on? They said, oh, this is the Donald Trump rally. I said, wait a minute, I'm not going to be there for another many hours. But that happens, honestly, that happens at every place we go to. And you know, it's covered on the cover of Time magazine. It's a movement, folks, because we're not going to take this stuff anymore, what's going on with our government. We're not going to take it anymore. We're the highest tax nation in the world. And by the way, we're cutting our taxes far more than anybody else. We're the highest tax nation in the world. Every single country that does business with us, they rip us off left and right like we're a bunch of dummies. And you know what? It's all going to change. We're going to make great trade deals. We're going to bring jobs back. We're not going to let our jobs go away. We're taking our jobs back. Listen to this. I mean, come on. How do you let this happen? So Bridgeport, the Bridgeport region, has lost. Folks, how do you let this happen? You know why? Because our government is no good at the top. That's why. Okay? It's no good at the top. These are jobs that are going to other countries, and we stop them. So simple. And you know what happens? When they leave here and they open in Mexico, we call, and we say, folks, you can't go there, you can't do it. You're late. Bridgeport, you see what's happening in Indiana where they're leaving? Carrier air conditioner, leaves, goes to Mexico, makes air conditioners, sells them in this country, and we don't tax them. Once we tax them, they're not leaving anymore, folks. They're not going to be leaving anymore. But listen to this. Bridge, we'll build the wall, we're building the wall. You guys are we're building the wall. We'll talk about the wall. They always pay for the wall, right? By the way, 100%. We have a trade deficit with Mexico of $58 billion a year. The wall's going to cost $10 billion. We need 1,000 miles. China, 13,000 miles, built 2,000 years ago, the Great Wall of China. And you have these guys on stage with me. Donald, you really can't build a wall, can you? Can you believe this? We'll throw that sucker up. Who's in construction here? We will throw that wall up so fast your head will spin, right? You know that. And we'll have a real wall. See the ceiling height? That's a little bit low. The wall's going to be... Which they won't, they ain't coming down very fast. They're going to say, yeah, this is up there pretty high. You see them right now, they go up, they jump down. It's a joke. Okay, but folks, how can you let this happen? How can you let this happen? The Bridgeport region's lost 60% of its manufacturing jobs since 1990. That's a lot. Can you imagine? And I would have built a great job here, and we would have had a lot of jobs. So. That's government. That's government. It's like politicians, all talk, no action, you'll never get it done. Believe me. Bridgeport lost more than 40% of its manufacturing jobs since 2001, when, guess what? When China joined the World Trade Organization. Listen to this. Lion Ted Cruz supports Chinese currency manipulation, devaluation, which is the biggest killer of jobs. The devaluation is how they get us. And they don't want to have that in the TPP, Trans-Pacific Partnership. You know, they talk about it like it's this wonderful thing. Let me tell you, NAFTA was a disaster. TPP is going to be worse, and we can't let it happen, folks, because that'll drain the rest of the jobs away. We can't let it happen. And if I'm president, the first day, boom, it's over. But you know, they're trying to push it too fast. You know what it is? 5,000 pages with all of these countries that are looking to do numbers on us, 5,000 pages that none of our people even read. I don't believe they read them. And these other countries, they know every word, every comma, every sentence, every paragraph. I don't even think our people read it. You know, the Obamacare is, you know, thousands of pages. They talked about it. We're going to repeal it and replace it 100%. You know, when they went through the Congress, practically nobody even read it. And it's a disaster, by the way. The premiums are going up 25, 35, 45%, 55%. It's a total disaster. It's going to die of its own weight. They should have never approved it in the last budget. You know, our last budget 3 months ago, the omnibus, they call it the omnibus, for, you know, nice name, omnibus. It should have never happened. It allows for Obamacare funding, okay? It couldn't have survived without it. You know how many times we could have killed Obamacare? All these people go to Washington, and they all type, we're going to stop Obamacare, we're going to create borders, we're going to this. Then they get to Washington, and they walk through those gorgeous buildings with their wives or their husbands, and they say, look, darling, we finally made it. And they become totally different people. You know, they get elected, not only Bridgeport, they get elected, and then they go, something happens down there. They become weak. They become ineffective, and I'll tell you what happens. The people that gave them money totally control them, and they want them to do so. I'm self-funding my campaign, folks, I want to tell you. Connecticut Post writes, this is city Bridgeport has a motto, which translates to, by industry we thrive, but you have no industry. You gotta change your motto. Let's change it to, if we elect Trump, we will thrive, okay? If you elect Hillary, you know who that is, Cricket Hillary Clinton. Honestly, she doesn't have the strength, she doesn't have the stamina. You ever see these guys from China? They come in looking to kill, right? These are the traitors. They come in, and we have political hacks negotiating with them. They come in waves. You know, it's always 10 people. I made a lot of money against China, big jobs. In California, in New York, I have the largest bank in the world as my tenant in one of my buildings in Manhattan. It's a Chinese bank. I sell condos to China. China's fine. And you know what else? Mexico's great. The problem, and I'm not angry at them, I'm angry at our leaders for being so stupid, for being so incompetent, that they allow this to happen, so that I'm reading things about Bridgeport losing 60% of its manufacturing jobs, okay? And you know where they're going to different countries. So, folks, also Connecticut lost General Electric, that we can't allow. I mean, in all fairness, that one you have to help yourself. You know, when you go from state to state, I don't know, honestly, because I've lived in Connecticut. I love Connecticut. I have my friends in Connecticut. You can't lose General Electric. How do you lose that? I mean, they're moving to Massachusetts, and I love Massachusetts, and I happen to love Tom Brady, the great quarterback, which how good is Tom Brady, right? They got a great coach in Belichick. But you know what? Tom Brady likes me. When the people of Massachusetts found out that Tom Brady likes Trump and Belichick likes Trump and all this stuff, I won by almost 50% with all these people. So I can't knock Massachusetts, but how the hell do you let Massachusetts take General Electric away from Connecticut? I can't do that. Now, where I can help you is I I can help you when companies are moving from Connecticut to other parts of the world. That's not going to happen. Okay? There I can help you. General Electric, you should be ashamed of yourselves, but there I can help you. That's a bad one to lose. That's a bad one to lose. I hated seeing that. I mean, I thought that was sort of an amazing thing. Now, General Electric plant, yeah, they talk about that. So that's too late. Those you have to fight your own way, you know, the country, I'm going to solve that problem so fast. You know, for years our politicians have been talking about the problem where we're losing to Mexico and China and Japan and every country, India, Vietnam is a new hot one. They're taking our business. You know, it's like we're babies. It's like we're taking candy from a baby. Oh, you give me that piece of candy, right? That's the way they take our business. Millions and millions of jobs. Thousands upon thousands. It ends. If I win, it ends. And these politicians want it. You know, and you have crooked Hillary Clinton. She's all controlled by her lobbyists. She's all controlled by her donors. Hey, I give as a businessman, I give to everybody. I know the game better than anybody, folks. But I saw what was happening to our country. Our country is going to hell. We're losing our jobs. Our military can't beat ISIS. Our vets aren't being taken care of. Obamacare is a disaster. Our Second Amendment is under siege. Educationally, we're doing horribly. By the way, we're going to end Common Core, and we're bringing our the top 30 countries that they test. So we're number 30 in education. So we're last. We're number 30. You have Norway, Denmark, Sweden, China, Japan. You have all these. They're the best. And we're number 30 out of 30. All right. So here's the problem. We're 30 out of 30. In terms of cost per pupil, tell me who is number 1. By so much that there is no number 2. It's not like, oh, gee, we just edged out Norway. I know in New York they're sending a group to Norway to check out their educational system because they want to find why is Norway better than New York. But they're sending a group. Hey, look, let them work, okay? Let them try. Let them try. But we're number 1 in terms of cost, and we're at the bottom of the heap. You know, it's a little like me. I've spent the least in terms of running for president. That's my money, so I watch it. It's not a lot of money. It's like $40 million so far. I think it's $40 million. I've spent the least, and I'm winning by a lot, right? Other people have spent the most, and they got knocked out bad. Now you tell me, who do you want to have as your president? So a couple of more stats, and then I can just, otherwise, you know, I have the statistician's a great guy. I feel so badly, but I'll read a couple of the stats. So, let's see, factories are closing all over the place. It's a total disaster, you know. Median household income in Connecticut has declined $6,000 since 2000. And you're working harder. You know, one of the people said, are you angry? I'm not angry, you're not angry. But we're really tired of it, okay? We're tired of it. We're tired of incompetent people representing us. We're tired of it, because we're the best people. We are I go all over this country, and it's like this. Every place is totally packed, totally sold out. As many people as you had to see Waterbury before. It was the biggest crowd they've ever had. I mean, every crowd, these other guys come in, a guy like Cruz comes in, and you know, they have like 300-400 people. They're in a conference room someplace. No, it's true. A case of the same thing. They have a couple of hundred people. Within about 20 minutes, they're falling asleep. It's true. And Cruz, you know, with the rhetoric, I will take people out. That phony rhetoric. It's so terrible. Oh, he's alive. Well, he had another one. You know, I have a great staff. One of whom comes from Connecticut. Hope Hicks. She comes from Connecticut. Hope. But I have fantastic people. Paul Manafort just came on, he's great. And Corey, we all know Corey. And Hope, and many others, right? And I have all these people, and they're great people, right? Like, I mean, they're great people. And it's so unfair. So Paul goes and has a meeting with the Republicans down in
Washington, no, Florida, actually Florida. They want to, they want to have a nice meeting, beautiful sunshine. They went to Florida, and they had a meeting, and he said, yes, Donald Trump knows he's really smart, and he will, be different when he's in private, which of course we are. Everybody is. When I'm speaking, who's not different than when you're in a private room? So he's different here than he is there. Of course, we all are, right? I think. And we're different when we're talking about a policy speech as opposed to a speech where I'm with people, my friends. I call this my friends. We have the most loyal group of people. Every poll shows, like they had people on the other day, we'll never leave Trump. They said, one of the dishonest media people, world's most dishonest people. What would it take to get you to leave Donald Trump? Great woman. I just want to hug that television set. What would it get? I was watching. She had 10 of her friends behind her. What would it get for you to drop Donald Trump and go to another candidate? She goes, listen, stop talking. We're never dropping him. There's nothing he can do. Her friends in the back are going, yes, that's right, that's right. I'll tell you what, and the other people, you're going to see, the other people, if they, sneeze in the wrong direction, they get dropped. Okay, they get dropped. We have the most loyal people on the cover of Time magazine. It's all over the place. We have unbelievable people. I love you. I don't have to be doing this today. You don't have to be doing this today on a Saturday afternoon. There's so many things. And you look, and it's such an honor to have houses. Look at all these people up there. I mean, look. They haven't forgotten you. Don't forget, you're doing much better than the people standing outside. You got to remember that. But it's been amazing. So Paul was down, and he said, yeah, Donald will be a good member of the party. Right now we're fighting the party because it's a rigged system, okay? It's a rigged system. So over a period of time, my wife would say be more presidential. Ivanka would say be more presidential. And I started thinking, and I said, I can't. Being presidential is easy. Much easier than what I have to do. Here I have to rant and rave. I have to keep you people going, otherwise you're going to fall asleep on me, right? If I was presidential, first of all, I'd have a teleprompter. You ever see crooked Hillary Clinton? She walks in. Good afternoon, Bridgeport. How are you? This is crooked Hillary Clinton. When people start yawning, leaving, the whole thing is a disaster. And she'll be a disaster as president. But here's the thing. Look, so he said, and Donald was obviously, hey, look, I'm a smart guy. I went to the best school, the best everything. I'm like, really smart. I'm so smart. I don't want to even tell people. You'll all drop me. You say it's no good. But we have smart people. We have the most incredible people that are following. So Paul was saying that, well, he got different. If he's in a room, he's different than if he's making a speech. Everybody is, right? So, Lion Ted Cruz, right? He said, with that horrible flourish, the hand. Don't forget with the Bible, right? He walks in, Bible held high. Then he puts the Bible down and then he lies. He's not lying. So to show you how honorable the people in the room were, they take these conversations. They didn't tell anybody. Probably illegal. I wonder if it's legal. Maybe they have to go to jail. But they take it. Which is fine, because what he said was perfect. But he said, no, Mr. Trump can be this way, that way, he can be anything he wants. Being presidential is the easiest. Because all you do is walk up and talk and leave, and everybody falls asleep. Here's the story. So Lion Ted Cruz said, he said his own manager, who's a great guy, his own manager said that he talks this way, I don't talk this way. And then he said, and he said he won't build the wall. We're building the wall, folks. I didn't say it, and he didn't say it. The wall's not even mentioned. So he said, because, in other words, the concept is, just to show you how disgusting politics, the concept is that because of the fact that in a room I'm going to act different than when I have thousands of people in front, like anybody else, I'm saying essentially the same thing. In fact, I'm saying the same thing, but you say it in different ways. So what he did is took and said, he will change, and he won't build the wall, and he won't do this. Everything I say I'm going to do, folks, I do, okay? But to show you how dishonest it was, he actually used the expression like we said it. First of all, nobody would say that. Even if we meant it, nobody would say it, okay? But we didn't do it because I mean it totally. What I say here, and it's always got to be said in a different way, depends on your audience. You have to be different. I mean, when we have this audience, we have to be different than if we have 12 people sitting in a conference room. Unless you're Ted Cruz, he speaks the same way. I always say, he's an okay debater, but he's a terrible talker, right? Terrible. And I beat him in every single debate. Every single debate we beat Ted Cruz, Lion Ted. You know, he was supposed to be a good debater. And I said, I hear he's a good debater, right? You know, he was supposed to be like he debated in high school or college or something. But, you know, he never had a debater like me where I interrupt him every 4 words. You know, but I think his personality, I don't actually think he is a good debater. So, Drudge, the greatest guy, Drudge, Time Magazine, you know, they all rate the debates, right? Online polls, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people call it. So, you know, who won? I've won every single debate, every single source, every single debate. Pretty good. I've never done it before. You know, hey folks, I've been doing this now for 10 months. It's not like OG. But I've been doing it for now 9 months or 10 months. But thank you, darling. I love you too. Thank you. So, and I've loved doing it. I've loved doing it because it's going to be so much fun. First of all, the people that I meet are unbelievable people. They love this country so much that they'll be here on a Saturday afternoon in a room that's very warm, to put it mildly. The good news is you speak. I just spoke in a room that was so hot. It was like a steam room. It was like a steam room. You speak, it's exercise, and it's like you lose 10 pounds. You say, I wonder why I lost weight. But we're going to do such a good job, and you have to remember. You're going to remember this afternoon, but you have to remember on Tuesday you have to get out of here. None of the other candidates are even coming, you know, very little, to Connecticut. And I'm coming a lot to Connecticut. I don't take anything. We can't take anything for granted. I know the poll numbers are good. You have to forget the poll numbers. Because a lot of times people say, oh, Trump's going to win. I love Trump. He's going to win, but I don't have to vote. The more we win by, the better it's going to be. Because we have a movement going on. It's being written about. Bill O'Reilly, the other day. And he's rough. I mean, he's a rough guy, and he's smart. But he said the biggest political event to the effect that the Trump phenomena, he said, and it's really not the Trump phenomena, it's you are the phenomena. Believe me, I'm the messenger. Just remember. He said the Trump phenomena, or something to that effect, is the biggest political story, the most important political story of his lifetime. Did anyone see that? I almost fell off my chair when he said that. Because I know him, and he's always grilling. But the truth is, and it's never an easy interview with Bill, I will tell you that. And he's straight down the middle. He has no friendships, no nothing. He goes right down the middle. You gotta hand it to him. And he said, and he actually said it twice, because he said it the night before too, Bill O'Reilly. But he said, the biggest political story of his lifetime. And he mentioned in that is the assassination of John F. Kennedy, you know, which of course to me is, you know, a big and horrible event. And we've had some horrible events and some very big events. So for him to say that was a very big statement. And what he's saying is all over. When I go to Alabama, we have 35,000 people. Our crowds are much bigger than Bernie, by the way. And Bernie's over now. But you know, but Bernie did make a couple of statements. Should I read the statements? Because we're going to forget about Bernie. You know, in about a month, you're going to say, who's Bernie? Who the hell is he? Unless Hillary gets indicted, in which case Bernie will. I think Bernie's holding. But Bernie said that she's not qualified to be president. That's a big statement. And then he pulled it back a little bit, because that's a tough statement. You know, why? I mean, she's been a senator. But I'll tell you where he was right. And they're not happy with what Bernie said. He said she suffers from bad judgment. She does have bad judgment. She wanted to go into the war in Iraq. I was against it, by the way. And Bernie was against it. But she wanted to go into the war in Iraq, and I said it's going to absolutely, you're going to destabilize the Middle East if you do that. And it was a disaster. And I was right. You know, they talk about Trump and stuff. Trump's going to have a fast trigger, but I won't have a fast. I'm probably going to have the slowest trigger of anybody, but nobody's going to mess with me because they know I do. And we're going to build our military bigger and better and stronger than ever And we're going to take care of our vets who have been absolutely mistreated. And by the way, we're going to respect our police officers because our police have not been given the credit they deserve. Our police have not been given the credit they deserve. They do an unbelievable job, folks, okay? You know, they have one incident that was a mistake or you had a problem with somebody. Out of millions of people. And they'll put that incident on television for weeks and weeks and weeks, okay? Our police are amazing people. So this all began in June, on June 16th, when I came down to Trump Tower. And I saw more media. I mean, it looked like the Academy Awards, I said all the time. It looked like the Academy Awards. And it's not something I wanted to do. I love, you know, I built this great company. I have a nice life. I have a wonderful family. Now my family's involved in this. They're all excited. Eric and Don and Ivanka and Tiffany and all of them. Barron's a little young right now, yes. But even Barron likes it. And Melania, they're all involved and they love it. And they love it because they know we can. We're going to make America great again, folks. Just like that. When I came down that escalator, really for me, it was about trade deals, and it was about borders, and it was, you know, just so many things happening. But trade is so easy. It's not like right in my wheelhouse, because I know whether it's Bridgeport or Albany, where I was last week, Syracuse, Poughkeepsie, Bethpage, Long Island, Outer Long Island, Suffolk County, all places I love, right? Places that, I mean, I had as much as 87 and 89%. Can you imagine getting 89% in some President Trump! I mean, it's amazing. And what is nice, I will say this about New York, to have an overwhelming victory like that, where it was far greater than even, they knew I was going to win, but it was far greater. From the people that really know you the best, okay? They know me. They know the good, the bad, the ugly. They know Donald Trump. I grew up there. And I've been in so much papers and so much was written about me, some correct and some, you know, dishonest. But the people of New York really know me. So to have that kind of a victory is great. And it really shows a lot to Pennsylvania and Maryland and Rhode Island and Delaware and yourselves, where, I mean, Connecticut honestly knows me. Pennsylvania knows me because I went to school there. I mean, I went to school in Pennsylvania. It's a great place, great state. But they all have the same problems. I mean, we have problems where our jobs are being decimated. 6 million jobs have been taken out of our country, like so easily, so easily. And we have politicians that have been working on this problem for 5 years, they don't know what to do. And what we're going to do, let's say we have a company in Bridgeport, goes to Mexico. Great, we'll call it. Enjoy Bridgeport, because you bet you're coming back. And what happens is this, and ideally you want to see these companies before they leave. Nobody talks, I don't think anybody talks to them. When companies leave, I don't think people talk to them. If I were doing it, I'd say, here's what it is. But the governors, in all fairness, they need help from the federal government. And we have to impose a major tax on these companies. When they leave, they go to Mexico, like Carrier Air Conditioning. They go to Mexico, and they think they're going to sell air conditioners back into our country. No tax, you know, free trade. Free trade, I believe in it 100%, but not when you have stupid people negotiating the deals and running it. Because we don't have any country. We don't have free trade. So I'm a free trader. But free trade means, you know, if you look at Mexico, their people are sharp, their leaders are sharper, they're smarter. What they're doing, they're killing us on the border, but that won't happen. Now, even beyond the wall, the patrol, if you look at the Border Patrol, they gave us last week, you probably saw, the first time in the history of the Border Patrol, 16,500 men and women endorsed Donald Trump. They've never done it before. They're incredible people. And they can do the job. Sheriff Joe Arpaio of Arizona endorsed everybody wanted his support. He endorsed Donald Trump. But we're going to have a strong border. We're going to have the war. We have to stop the drugs. You know, when I won New Hampshire, I go around and I see the people of New Hampshire who are great people. That was my first victory, so I love New Hampshire. From day one, I just loved it. And you see these beautiful valleys and lakes and little roads riding through. It was just beautiful. The people are incredible. And I go into a meeting and I say, so what's the big problem? They'd say heroin. I'd say, what? Heroin. It just, right? It didn't mesh with these beautiful trees and then, you know, heroin. And then you go to other places, come here, it's the same thing. I mean, I know all about Bridgeport for years. But you look, and it's coming in through the southern border. And I told the people of New Hampshire that if I win, we're going to end that problem. And you know the biggest problem, you know, in Singapore, tough stuff. Singapore is so tough on drug dealers. I mean, this country could never do it. I don't want to have to tell you. What do they do in Singapore? He said they hang them. Yeah. You would never approve that. Singapore is so tough on drug deals, and people buy drugs, but Singapore is so tough, they don't have a problem. They don't have a problem. There's no games, okay? They don't have a problem. With us, you get caught once, twice, like 8 times, and then they start getting a little bit tougher. So you can't solve problems like that. But I told the people of New Hampshire, then I told South Carolina, I won South Carolina. That was supposed to be a stronghold for Ted Cruz. There's only one problem, I won in a landslide. And I won with the evangelicals because evangelicals don't like liars, and he's a liar. So I won with the evangelicals, and I won it in a landslide. And I won Louisiana. And that's when I realized the system's rigged. Because I won Louisiana, and I said, oh, I wasn't supposed to win Louisiana. I was behind, and I was not supposed to win. That was supposed to be a Ted Cruz. And remember, there are also other people. There are other people. And yet I'm doing so great. And now I'm getting over 50% with all these people. Now we're down to 3, finally. Remember, when they say Trump doesn't get over 50%, I was having 12 and 14 and 15. I watched this guy, Karl Rove. They asked him the other night. He still thinks Romney won. Romney won. This guy, he was on last night, and he was trying to explain how the fact that I won New York in one of the greatest landslides anyone's ever seen, far greater, that it wasn't really that good. It wasn't. And even I won't say who it was that was doing it, but even he was like, really? The hatred, the level of hatred by the establishment of us is so incredible, okay? It's so totally incredible. So, what?
They're scared of change!
No, we're gonna change that, buddy. We're gonna change. We're gonna change. But when you watch these guys, and they were talking about the 50%, and he said again, 50%, but this time at 61 or 62%, you can't say that anymore. So he came up with another narrative. But when you watch him struggling, he's all nervous and all crazy because there's nothing he can say. It was one of the biggest, even people that hate me said that was a massive victory, right? And he's working so hard that, no, well, it doesn't mean that much. You know, it's only New York. It doesn't mean that much. And you see, look, folks, the system's rigged. So what happens is, Louisiana was Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz was going to win the South. He was going to win all of the South. There's only one problem. I won the South. I won Alabama. I love Alabama. And I said before, if I don't win in Connecticut, I'm moving to Alabama because I'll tell you, they treated me good. Okay? Remember. But I won the South. I won Alabama. I won Arkansas. We won places. We won Kentucky. We won so many places. Florida was one of the greats. We won in a landslide, right? And I won Massachusetts. I won Alabama, Massachusetts. That's pretty different, okay? But we have all these victories. And I said to people, the system, I really found out about the rigged system in Louisiana because I was behind. I wasn't supposed to win. I was told, don't go there. And then a poll came out that I was 7 or 8 points behind. I said, hey, let's give it a shot. So I went down there a couple of times. And the final night, it was a Friday night, and I made a speech. And we had an airplane hangar that was massive, like for Boeing 747s. It was massive. And we said, I'm coming to make a speech the night before the election. That election took place, I believe, on a Saturday. And I made a speech, and the people were unbelievable. And it was like a love fest, like this is. It was like a love fest, okay? And the people in this country are amazing. That's why they're calling it a movement on the cover of Time magazine. It's a movement. And by the way, they say it's a movement like we've never had in the history of our country. It's true. Millions of them. So I'm in Louisiana, and I'm making this speech, and it was unbelievable. And I left. And the next day they had the election, and I won. Pretty easily. I won. And it was an upset. And again, I wasn't supposed to win. He was supposed to win, and it was an upset. And I said, fine. Now, a couple of weeks later, they're adding up different things, and they're showing how well we're doing, because we're winning a lot of states. And mostly, mostly. And then I see Louisiana, I say, oh, you made a mistake here. They said, why? No, we didn't make a mistake. No, you made a mistake. I won the state easily, and you have this guy Cruz having more delegates. Oh. You're lying to me. No, I won it. I won Louisiana. And you have Cruz over here with what that can't be possible. How do you win it? And you don't get as many delegates. No, I'll tell you how you do it. It's a rigged system. So while I'm working with speeches, because he can't win with the people, he will get decimated. When they start doing negative ads, I had 55,000 negative ads. Kasich had one. When they start, if they put one ad on Kasich, one ad, it's going to be poignant. But you know what happens? I say, so how does this happen? And then all of a sudden I realize, yeah, I've only been doing this stuff for like 9-10 months. All of a sudden I realize this is a rigged deal. Because how can you win a state and get less delegates, right? So we started focusing. And watch how the delegates in Pennsylvania love us, okay? But it's still a bad system. Because when you win with the popular vote, and when you win states by a lot with the popular vote, you win that state. You win that state. So what this guy does, he can't win with the popular vote because he's got zero personality, because he lies like a thief, okay? And he can't win with the popular vote, so he's got these large number of people, probably paid for by a super PAC, which is not supposed to be happening, going around, whining and dining people, taking them out to dinner, spending a lot of money, probably getting them hotel rooms and everything else. Wait till you see, we'll figure it all out. But I'll tell you what, it's really buying an election in this country, and you can't do that, folks. You can't do it. So you're not allowed to do that in theory. And I'd be interested to see, is the super PAC doing it, okay? You're not supposed to be doing it, and there's total communication, I would say. So we're dealing with a broken system, we're dealing with a crooked system, like Crooked Hillary, and we're really dealing with a fixed deal, and we're gonna change it. Now the only way you beat that at this stage, but the only way you beat that is like the fighters say. You know the boxers. I love the boxers. I've always liked the boxers. They're all endorsed. Mike Tyson endorsed me. They're all endorsed me. They're like, you know, I want to get Bobby Knight to endorse me in Indiana. If he endorsed me, boy, I love Bobby Knight. The truth is, he did endorse me. Do I love that? Bobby Knight. I love the great basketball. Bobby Knight is a great guy. We're going to have Bobby Knight in Indiana in a week. And honestly, I like the tough guys. I like the guys that are tough. Because there's something about it, okay? And they like me, and that's what you want, folks. Because you know what? The world is tough. The world is not soft. The world is tough. We're not tough. This country is not tough. Our leaders aren't tough. Our negotiators, our representatives are not tough. Secretary of State Kerry is not tough when he negotiates with Iran. We need toughness. You know, when Jeb Bush used to say, I don't like his tone, my tongue. They are chopping off people's heads in the Middle East. They're drowning people in steel cages. And Jeb says, I don't like Donald Trump's tone. Okay? I don't have this stuff. I'm just angry at the incompetence of our leadership. The gross incompetence of our leadership. And we're going to change it. We change it on Tuesday. When you go to the polls, Hillary Clinton said the same thing. She said, his tone, they used the same word. It's very harsh. Well, I think she's very harsh. But his tone, she said, he's very harsh. I mean, here it is. Think of it. We're being ripped off by China. We're going to have a trade deficit of $505 billion with China. We're going to have a trade deficit with Mexico of $58 billion a year. We have trade deficits of Japan and everybody. I mean, almost everybody. Almost everybody. Are you okay? No, I can't take it. I mean, it's hard to take. Don't forget, Make America Great Again is a positive. positive message. It's actually a very positive, because if I didn't say that, it would be there's no hope. There's hope. We have tremendous hope. We're going to make our country so strong again. So here's what we're going to do. This has been a great afternoon. This has been a great afternoon. You're going to go on Tuesday is so important, and you're going to get all your friends and go and vote. And that's when you're going to look back. And I say this all the time, and I mean it. I will do such a great job for you. You will love your president, but more importantly, you'll be proud of your country. So you're going to look back at your vote, and you're going to say, that was the single greatest vote I've ever cast. You're going to go back 2 years from now, and 10 years from now, and 30 years from now. You're going to say the greatest vote I ever cast was that Tuesday. I watched Donald Trump. I then went to cast that Tuesday when I went to cast my vote, because that's when our country started winning again and being greater. And I can only promise you this. We're going to start winning again with our military. We're going to build it up, make it great. We're going to knock out ISIS, got to do it. And hopefully never have to use it again. But we're going to have a strong military. We're going to take care of our vets as part of it. We've got to take care of it. We're going to straighten out our education. We're going to straighten out Obamacare. We're going to repeal it and replace it. It's going to be done. Obamacare is going to be done. It's going to be replaced with something that is absolutely terrific, and you have so many options. That's the sad part. There were so many options, and they didn't choose any. They went with this horrible system that's totally underwater now, a disaster. So we're going to get rid of it. So you're going to win with health care. You're going to win with the Second Amendment, which we're going to cherish. You're going to win at every level of government. You're going to win at the borders. We're going to have strong, powerful, beautiful borders, and people are going to come into our country, but they're going to come in legally, and we will build the wall, but people will come in, and they're going to come in legally. And we're going to win with trade. We're going to make great trade deals, and we're not going to let our businesses be ripped out of our states and ripped out of this country anymore. We're going to stop it. And if a business wants to leave, we're going to tax their product when it comes back.